Hey, Natalia. How do you pronounce your name,
You
please?
did great. You did great. No rehearsal
Oh,
necessary.
there you go.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Your film, 15 Days. Well, it's 15 days. It's a little long. 15 Days, the real story of America's pandemic school closures.
Yeah. I gotta tell you, your movie pissed me off because 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 I knew I was being lied to, and your movie confirmed it.
Well, look, I am one of the people who, it's only 15 days. I'll follow the rules. It's only this. I'll follow the rules. And, Alan and I live in one of the states that was the most shut down. And, we're not going to diminish, anything about people who were sick, but maybe our reaction to the pandemic might have caused more damage, and we did it. We did it to ourselves. Tell us about your documentary, and we will take a look at your trailer actually as well.
Oh, cool. Thanks. Well, thanks for having me on. First of all, this is really an honor. I produced the film because I was an open schools parent. I'm a Democrat in New York City, that most of us are. And I went along with the entire pandemic response at the very beginning. But as parents of children, and I think Alan, you're upset for the right reasons, because as a parent of two young children during the pandemic, when I was, watching what was happening in the rest of the world and truly trying to follow the science as we had been told to do on every channel and every newspaper, everywhere we possibly looked, I realized that the science actually didn't say what they said it said. And so I was one of the first open schools parents. I came to the first rally in New York City. We tried petitions, rallies, begging electeds. Nobody wanted to hear from us. So I sued the mayor to reopen the schools in 2021. And that took me on a very long journey, but it's been an incredible road. And one of the people that we feature in the film, who you'll see in the trailer, is now the head of the National Institutes of Health and the CDC, Dr. Jay Bhattacharya. And this was somebody who was totally censored, deplatformed, called a fringe epidemiologist, belittled, death threats around Stanford. This is one of the top epidemiologists in the world. And he was really reduced to almost nothing. I mean, they really tried to take him down, but he did not relent, and he is the great hero of the story.
I would describe myself not as a Democrat, but I would describe myself as a 90s liberal trapped in the present.
Yeah.
And I think what COVID did is it awakened a lot of people, and it certainly brought to light that I think many of our elected officials are incredibly unremarkable people compromised by special interests. I'm not naming names like Karen Bass or Gavin Newsom, but they're really just tools of whoever's giving them money, and then programs that they fund are just giving money to their friends. Why is this not obvious to everyone now? There really needs to be a taxpayer revolt and a voter revolt. And what happened to kids, because I'm a father to two kids. Alan's daughter is younger. She was in high school when everything happened.
She was in junior high.
Junior high, right.
She was ending elementary school, going into junior high. And I swear this in-home learning and everything that happened did her no good.
Yeah.
And we still feel the effects of it today.
It's horrible.
I mean, on some level, just to interject, I feel like what you're saying, Chris, is correct. And I feel like we live in a post-partisan world. These words, Republican and Democrat, don't mean anything anymore, at least not to me. As you said, I'm 54, I grew up in the late 70s, early 80s. Those were, it wasn't easy. It was the Cold War, and I was a Soviet immigrant. So there were certainly challenges there, but it was a different time. And I think the parties meant something. And there was a lot of, bilateral, work together for the country, right? I don't think we're seeing that anymore. And I think so. I don't know. I don't really relate to either party. I'm very much an independent.
That's how I feel. I think a lot of people became independent or changed their views during that. I mean, I can't tell you how much Alan and I would talk privately about what was happening in California. It was horrible. We're gonna go to some questions from our own. No, first of all, we appreciate you coming on our show because I looked you up. You have been on TV. You were on Megyn Kelly. Like, you've done a lot of slumming it with Film Threat. We appreciate it. Hanging out with us. I have your trailer. Let's take a look at it, and then we'll do questions from our viewers right now. Let's take a look at the trailer for your film.
Environmental justice helps create educational justice.
Use this for the society that we want to see.
We need to close schools.
Bam!
COVID is God's gift to the left.
15 days. 15 days to slow the spread.
My name is Natalia MurakHVer. I'm a New York City public school parent.
I had a really nice teacher.
Stay at home.
It was just so hard to learn.
Limited amount of bandwidth.
Low-income kids were way less likely to have technology.
Teachers didn't care. They took the REMs down.
Kids couldn't get recruited. You weren't allowed to go into a public high school.
Didn't want to lose sight of our hopes and dreams.
Everybody is scared.
Fear!
Out of an abundance of caution.
Abundance of caution.
How could this really happen?
15 days.
We knew that remote education was not a substitute for opening schools.
Student engagement was much lower.
Kids that I competed with
Disappeared.
they were gone.
I want to shut down.
This is the story of the families who fought to uncover the truth.
California Teachers Association,
The teachers union,
was doing opposition research on parents.
Really high level of coordination.
15 days.
I don't have a direct number to Director Wilinski. Do you? Yes, I have Director Wilinski's direct number. What a great gift. We have to use it.
basically in the name of equity.
Keep everything shut down, especially the schools.
Is it the virus keeping the schools closed, or were there special interests?
This was the biggest smash and grab.
Stop the bleeding.
More money.
We need $1 trillion.
That's a sick society.
On top of that, another $100 billion.
We create the future that we want.
We change narrative. We change that.
All of a sudden you have
George Floyd protests.
If I go out and carry the right sign, I can hang out with 1,000 people.
following the death of George Floyd. The piece that I didn't understand, you can protest.
But 28 kids can't go sit in a classroom.
15 days.
We're just watching the news.
Propaganda.
Oh, kids get sicker.
We don't know the mortality rate.
No, they are not getting sicker.
Infection fatality rate much lower in reality. We're harming them more psychologically. Life years lost from the lockdown exceeded life years lost from the virus.
We had struck a chord.
15 days.
We were attacked.
How dare you question any of this?
Despicable behavior.
White supremacists.
Death threats.
Cause misery.
Kids will recover.
Enough. 15 days.
15 days.
15 days.
15 days.
No one's coming to save our kids but us.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, it was like watching your film. Every conspiracy theory I thought was going on, you proved was actually happening. I remember watching the George Floyd protests here in Los Angeles and thinking to myself, well, how are they not getting COVID? How is this not a spreader event, a super spreader?
Mm-hmm.
And it was, I think at that point I realized we're not being told the full truth. And for some reason, the effects of COVID are being manipulated to control us. And the other thing your documentary points out is our leaders didn't care about us or our children in the slightest.
No,
it was about power and maintaining power.
Although I will give, as I used to be a never Trumper and I voted for Biden in 2020. And I have to say, I think President Trump did try to do the right thing during the pandemic. I think he listened to the wrong leaders, the wrong scientists. Yeah. He's not an expert. I think he's pretty humble about that kind of thing. And I hated him so much. I had the biggest Trump derangement syndrome, but I was wrong. And he did try to reopen the schools in July 2020. And as soon as he said that, they turned against him so viciously. And so I think if he had, Scott Atlas did go to Washington and he did try to meet with President Trump. Scott Atlas really did everything he could to get us to go back. But unfortunately, Birx and Fauci and their cartel were far more powerful and had the president's ear.
Yeah,
I want to
leave. You show all the countries that that didn't follow the what our science was telling us, and they somehow made it out just fine.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, seeing seeing that trailer brings me back to that period, makes me so angry. We have a QR code on screen for people if they want to show support. You can look at that now. Also, you made a link tree, which I think is a really smart thing that filmmakers can do, with all the links of where you can see the film. It's Linktree and just /15 days. So
yeah, thank you for the
there
thank
you
you.
are.
For the tip. I didn't even know it existed. So thank you, Chris. I appreciate
I
it.
use Linktree all the time. Even Alan has a Linktree.
Yeah, it's a time capsule of me 2 years ago.
Yeah, but tell us, what has been the reaction to the film? Because my fear is this: we're gonna forget. We're moved on. Turn the page. We're gonna forget that all this happened. Forget our horrible, unremarkable leaders that pimp themselves out to special interests, hurt our kids, and tried to remake society along with a cash grab.
Yeah, $189.5 billion, right? That's just
unbelievable. Like, how do we stop this from happening? I'd love to see. I just feel like we live at a time where there are no consequences for bad behavior in government. No consequences at all.
Yeah, well, that may be true, but we do see that many of the people that we interviewed and their colleagues are now in Washington. Jay Bhattacharya, maybe accountability means a changing of the guard. And the institutions are being rebuilt. I know Jay is very focused on accountability and replicability and transparency. So I think, burning these institutions down is not the solution. I think you want leaders like Jay or Secretary Kennedy who really want to improve health outcomes for this country.
We have a lot of questions from our audience. They are kind of going nuts here. So let's go. Let's hear from everyone watching. Alan, if you would help me out.
Yeah. Here we go. Matthew Hammond for 2. What role did the teachers union play in this? Oh my God.
Well, you got to watch the film.
The California Teachers Union.
Yeah, I mean, the teachers in places where the teachers unions were strongest, they kept schools closed the longest. Alan and Chris, do you know what the head of your teachers union? You're in LA, I assume.
Yeah.
UTLA's the head of the UTLA teachers union said in an LA magazine article, which I quote as often as I possibly can. Her name is Cecily Maillard Cruz. And she said in 2021, while schools were still closed, she said, it doesn't matter if our babies haven't learned their times tables. They know the difference between a riot and a coup.
Wow.
So the teachers union spearheaded the entire thing. That doesn't mean it's teachers, by the way. This is not a film that, I made this film together with a teacher at one of the very, very first open schools rallies in New York City. This lone teacher showed up that had a t-shirt on that said like Teachers for Open Schools. And I was like, this is so weird. Here you are trying to get schools reopened, and the other teachers are on the other side saying won't die for the Department of Education. And we started talking, and she was somebody who got fired from the Department of Education because she refused to get the COVID shot. And she wanted to be back in school with the students. She didn't feel like she needed the shot. And so she ended up on the outs. And so their loss was my gain, because together with this teacher, who is now a teacher in a homeschool program, we made this film. So this is definitely not, a film that tries to make teachers look bad. Teachers were the teachers union's product. They used the teachers. They didn't help them. It wasn't in their best interest to stay home in their yoga pants, their rapidly expanding yoga pants behind a screen. Okay, they're teachers because they need to be in the classroom. Sorry, my dog is a little bit.
It's all good.
Well, people outside of California don't understand how powerful the California Teachers Union is, and how they don't represent teachers in any way.
Right.
And that's the scariest thing.
Right.
I mean, they basically dictate who gets elected and what laws get passed in California.
It's a money laundering scheme. It's a cartel. And you have the NEA and the AFT. They represent not just the teachers. They also represent retirees. They also represent the healthcare workers. We just had a nursing strike in New York State. It's all about extortion, and it's all about controlling the administration.
More questions from our audience here.
Yeah, ADLS, in your research, what impact did the teachers union ultimately have, and why do you think they're so adamant to keep remote learning in the face of all the growing evidence that said otherwise? Yeah, see the movie. You go into very deep detail about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, their goal wasn't to improve outcomes for students or for teachers. Their goal was to keep the schools closed for as long as possible so that they could collect those incredible bailouts. They had three. Well, we go into it in the film, but there are 3 rounds of gigantic bailouts, and that's not it. I mean, they were coordinating with other progressive NGOs because there was money that was given to many different sectors, and the kind of corruption we're seeing in Minnesota. In your state, I'm so sorry, in our state in New York, I mean, that all really came to a head during COVID. They had a great cover for their extortion.
Yeah, we need an army of Nick Shirleys to come here to fix California. Sad.
All right, the nerd far away, hail Miss Murakhtveer. How do you deal with the cancellation mob?
I don't. I mean, I have to say, speaking out, at least for me, maybe, I don't know why, but I have spoken out on all of these issues. First, it was the school closures. Then it was the masks. There was no way I was going to tolerate them masking our children. I fought like hell. And then, the gender ideology in our schools. I mean, our kids are being taught that they're now born as boys or girls. My daughter, who's in high school now, was taught in middle school that girls were AFABs and boys were AMABs, assigned female at birth, assigned male at birth. I can't stay quiet. I mean, my parents left the Soviet Union so that I would make something of myself, and they sacrificed a lot. So it's my duty to repay that debt by using my voice, however small it is, as often as possible, and being honest.
More comments and questions here. We'll just keep going.
Okay, from Beach Dad, Natalia, thanks for dragging this back into the light. Never forget.
Thank you so much. I will keep doing so.
And then he follows up with, the mental health of some teams during that time is staggering. Some teens could not handle the isolation. So sad it happened.
The film is dedicated to Noah Sylvester, who unfortunately took his life last May. He was 21 years old, and his mother was one of the first plaintiffs on my open schools case, somebody with quite a few resources, a psychiatrist herself who really tried to save him. So, there are many Noah Sylvesters, and there are other stories, and we will never, ever let them memory hold us.
All right, Marcus Spin, does her career cover Seattle does her movie cover Seattle or places that didn't comply?
We didn't have an opportunity to go to Seattle. No, mostly California, New York, Washington, D.C., Fairfax, Virginia. No, for the most part, no.
All right. ADLS, when you started looking beyond New York to see how things were nationally and internationally, what policies and justifications for them did you come across that made you roll your eyes the most?
I'm trying to understand this question.
So when you look beyond New York and the major cities, let's see, when you look nationally and internationally, what policies or justifications made your eyes roll the most? I guess that's.
Well, I mean, I can just talk about the fact, Tracy Hogue, who's now at the FDA, another incredible researcher, is a dual national, Danish and American. And she looked at and wrote quite extensively about the lack of mitigations and the open schools in Scandinavian countries, in Denmark, where they opened the Tivoli theme park, and then also in Scandinavian countries where they didn't close schools, they didn't keep kids masked, and there was no worse outcome. So that roll my eyes and also just see the tragedy unfolding before us, for sure.
Comment here from Joe Pat for 199. Hindsight is a Witch, the movie. So just wanted to support the channel. I want to thank you for coming on, Natalia. The movie is 15 Days, the real story of America's pandemic school closures. You like many doc filmmakers, I have to give you credit. You were called to make this movie.
Yeah.
You know, you really, it's a mission. And that's where I know that filmmakers that become filmmakers out of, they have something to say, a documentary that is important. So I commend you for that, and check out the link tree with every link to where to find the film. Look up 15 Days. You will find it. Is it on Amazon? All the major ones as well?
It's on Amazon, Google, and Apple TV. So it just debuted last Friday.
Well, I'm happy to hear that, because sometimes there has been censorship with films that are challenging. So
who knows what happens? No, nothing's happened. But Eli Steele, who has a film called White Guilt that's coming out very shortly, produced this film with me. He mentored me from the very beginning. And you know what happened with him with What Killed Michael Brown on Amazon, right? Like, it was canceled.
No,
I didn't know about that film. That I didn't know what happened. I know about the situation. Well, what happened with the film?
They got it back on, but they tried to cancel that film. So I was prepared for this one to be canceled as well. I mean, it's up now. We'll see what happens. I mean, it hasn't really been viewed yet. I haven't really done much of a campaign. I don't have a budget for an ad campaign. So whoever's out there, if you want to watch it, that would be incredible, I think, for you and for us.
We'll post about the movie, rent the movie, or see it however you see it. Natalia, thank you. Send your friend our way. We'd like to talk to him. White Guilt.
Eli sent us many of his films, so I know.
Okay, that's I'm very interested.
His trailer just came out today. His trailer is out. It's called White Guilt. It's based on his father, Shelby Steele's book White Guilt from about 25 years ago.
Yeah, the first film I saw was How Jack Became Black, and the whole premise was, what race does he mark his son down on forums, because he's everything basically.
I think, didn't he win an award this?
I believe he did. Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. So not sure if you're aware or not, but you're eligible to be nominated at our award show. We do an awards event every year for indie films. We're coming up on our 8th year, and we seek out movies of all types, movies on all sides of the spectrum, and your movie's eligible to be nominated and for our show. So we made up an award show because we want to promote indie movies that are maybe not the big studio ones.
Great. So, well, tell me what I have to do.
Oh, you're in.
You're already, get reviewed
you're on
on
the
Film
you're on the
Threat.
list.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Only 2 qualifications: get reviewed on Film Threat, check, and be in commercial release so people can see your movie.
Great.
You're done.
Great.
You're done.
Yay.
Awesome. Thank you, Natalia. And love seeing you pop up in so many other places with some great interviews. You're doing so much great work. Thank you. Keep fighting.
Thank you so much for having me.
Great. Take care. Thanks again.
Bye.